This is Jordan White, and this is my persuasive speech. For my persuasive speech, I'll be telling you why college athletes should not be paid. Would athletes be paid differently depending on the sport they play? How do you quantify the worth of a college sports team, especially if it's making the school much more popular overall and bringing lots of students? Where would the money even come from to pay these athletes? So this is my speech, why we should not pay college athletes. To start, I'll tell you why I'm credible. Me, Jordan, why I'm credible because I feel like I'm an avid sports fan, so I've watched sports all my life, and I've done the research on why and why not they should be paid and the benefits to and to not paying them. So the three main points I'll be talking about is how do you value how much a player's worth, and then also how some sports teams are worth more than other sports teams, so they have more money, and also that they already receive a college education, so they already get a bunch of money. So this is all factors in. So to start, let's first talk about how some sports would get more money. Some sports make more money than others. This is a simple fact, as some are more popular than others. For example, football is obviously going to be the most popular sport, as it has the biggest crowds and also has the most room for people to come in. Football is one of the most popular sports that there is in America. So people always come in, right? So obviously the football players would have the most money coming in. But the problem with that, there's also the most people on the football team. So not every player could obviously get as much. Another thing is basketball with the second most popular. Basketball also has a much smaller team, so their players will be able to get paid more. This isn't fair, as obviously they get paid different amounts and everyone should get the same. Also, there's some sports that make lesser amounts than others, like swimming would not make as much, or volleyball players would not make as much. This being said, so first I'm going to show you this chart that's going to show you it shows the Division I average revenues. So as you can see this, you can obviously see football makes a lot more money at $29 million, while all these other sports make even down to, see how much less amount of that is. That's a lot. And so that makes it hard, because especially when that's from businessinsider.com. But this makes it hard, especially in recruitment, because if a player goes to a bigger school and they can get paid more, then this makes an unfair recruitment advantage, as your players going to go where they get paid the most and also get a free scholarship tuition. So my next point will be the next thing I'll talk about is how how men and women's sports do not get paid the same. Men and women's, obviously, there's a big difference between them. Men's sports are much more popular than women's. There's a lot more attendance that comes. I was doing research earlier, and I found this thing. It said that on average for a women's basketball game in 2015, the attendance is 1,517, while a men's game was 3 times that at nearly 4,700. I got that from thepublicdiscourse.com. This shows a much different amount in there. As this is a Title IX problem, as men would make more than women, and this is not what you want, obviously, in college sports, as you want everyone to be equal. So if they leave with the same everyone just gets the free tuition scholarship, then that's the same. So another thing to talk about is how do you value a player? How do you value which players get more than others? Because obviously there's some players that are better than other players. But are you just going to straight up say that and that's how you get more money? No, you can't do that. But you gotta be willing to pay everyone the same amount. This creates problems, as some feel like they're worth more than others, and it just creates a whole can of worms that does not need to be open. Ultimately, the best thing to do is just to leave them with their scholarships. They already get free scholarships and tuition, so that's already a lot. I found this interesting fact. It was from managementdegreehub.com. It says that the University of Texas spends approximately $307,723 a year on a student athlete. That already right there is a ton of money. How can you pay them more than $307,000? You can't. That is a lot. You're already paying that much to every single person. So the idea of paying student athletes is a good idea, but ultimately it creates a bunch of problems that does not need to be started. And by not paying them, we simply can leave it here as where it is and just give them their free tuition. Thank you for listening to my speech.
No, we should pay